Okay, so let's talk about when we're actually bowing. Okay, we've already talked about how to have a beautiful bow hold, and if you want a refresher, just click on the video for violin and viola bow holds. But I want to go through a few different exercises with you to really strengthen that bow hold grip. And these are the same ones that we go over in class, but it's good to have it kind of as a reference when you're at home in case you forget, or if we aren't able to cover all of them in class, then you have some extras. So the first one, you're going to be holding at the middle of the bow, just on the stick. Please don't touch the hair, but touching at the stick is totally fine. And double check that your bow hold is good. And then really simple, pinky push-ups. Okay, so you're just going to tap the pinky on the top of the stick. Okay, and you can just do that a couple times. And this just makes sure that your hand is nice and relaxed. Sometimes we really grip it and then it's hard. If you're really gripping it hard, it's hard to grab that pinky and get it upwards. So this is just an easy one. Do this 10, 15 times and make sure everything's nice and relaxed. One thing too to notice is the height of my hand on the bow. It's not flat like this. As soon as that hand and that wrist pull backwards, so it's dropped down, a whole bunch of stuff happens wrong. Notice that my thumb is no longer curved like this. It's gone backwards. My pinky, from this angle you can see it's pointing in the opposite direction of where we need to go, and all of my fingers are going straight down. So this is another thing too to make sure that it's going in the correct direction and that it's just going straight up and down. Okay, so these are pinky push-ups. The next level of this is you are going to use your pinky and you're going to press down only using this pinky, and it pulls the tip of the bow up. So what you can do is have the back of your hand like this and have the bow hairs resting on this. It's not going to be a problem because there's really not a lot of oils in the back of your hand that might damage the hairs. Just don't hold it in your palm. So the back of your hand, and when you press firmly, it'll raise the tip of the bow off of the hand and then just gently bring it back down. What you do not want to do is press and then just drop it. Okay, it's going to bounce the bow and it can hurt the bow hairs. So you're just going to press just using that pinky, only pinky. Okay, this is like the extreme version of the pinky push-ups. So you can press and slowly bring it back down. And you can do this, I don't know, 10, 15 times in a row. And already, I mean, I only did it a few times and I can feel it, and you can even see, maybe you can't, my pinkies are a little bit red from trying to push down. Okay, the tip of my pinky is very red compared to my other fingers. Okay, so it's a workout for sure, and that pinky's not used to that, but it'll help because your pinky is a vital part in controlling your bow. All right, so once you're good with your pinky or you need to take a break, of course, whenever your body's telling you to take a break because it's hurting, or you're not used to these muscle groups, please listen to your body and take a little 5-minute break if you need to do something else, shake it out, try again. Don't overdo it. All right, so the next thing is we're going to be working on getting this wrist nice and relaxed. So what we do is what's called a rocket ship. And the rocket ship, you have your bow completely straight up into the air. It's not tipping over, okay? Just like a rocket, we want it to go straight. And you're going to have that rocket go all the way up into the sky, okay? And going nice and up high. Now, when you get high, notice that your wrist has to change. So when it starts, you're at this, and when it ends, you're at this. So your elbow and your wrist are having to adjust as you go from your lap all the way up into the sky. So the reason that this motion is important to watch for is because when you play on the instrument with your bow, your wrist, which goes into these fingers then, especially that pinky, your wrist is what's in control of the bow. So when you bow on the string, it needs to be nice and parallel across the strings. It doesn't want to be slipping around. And the only way to do that is the control in your wrist. So what you need to be checking is your jellyfish. So jellyfish, okay, they have tentacles. So we're going to pretend that our fingers are our tentacles, and this main part of our hand is the body of the jellyfish. So when the jellyfish is swimming, okay, it's kind of doing this. The tentacles go out and then they come in. Okay, it's the same thing. Here it is swimming across the sea. Imagine there's an ocean in the screen. Okay, it's the same kind of thing that your bow is doing. Okay, when I have my bow, I'm going to be going up bow, and the wrist kind of pulls forward. The tentacles go back, just like the jellyfish is swimming. Okay, so up bow, and then down bow, it switches. So the body of the jellyfish is going first and the tentacles come next. So always think about which direction that the body goes first and the tentacles come next. Okay, so up bows like this. Okay, going further away, up bows. And then down bows would be the other way, that the body goes first, okay, and then the tentacles. So when you're doing this, you can practice this with your bow without using the instrument. So just gently, really gently touch the stick so that you can still have mobility and slide it. You can also use a bow tube. You can use a paper towel roll. Put the whole of the paper towel roll there, or toilet paper rolls, and gift wrapping rolls. Those kind of things help, so you can grip that instead. But you can hold it here and have it really loose and practice this. So when I go up, my jellyfish is pushing this way, and when I go down, it pulls the other way. So it's going to be changing bow directions, okay? And it's all controlled in that wrist. Now, if I lock my wrist and I'm just doing this, you can't really see it at this angle, but what happens on your instrument is you start with the bow parallel, okay? It's a straight line between the bridge and the fingerboard. But when you go stiff, what happens is your up bows end like this, and your down bows end like this. And that's not good. Either one of those is not good. So if you have this and you're doing this flexible motion in your wrist, everything should go really, really smoothly so that that bow is not sliding around. Now, the easiest way to see if you're doing this is to play in front of a mirror. Play in front of a mirror. Everyone has one in their home, even if that means in the bathroom. That's where you need to go for this. And added bonus, bathrooms have fantastic acoustics, so you're going to sound really, really good when you play in the bathroom. But play in front of a mirror, okay? And look from it at the side angle, okay? So find an angle in front of your mirror where you can clearly see where your bow is going, and just do open strings. Nothing fancy. Open strings, just long bows, down bow, up bow, over and over and over and over and over, okay? And see if your wrist is having that flexible jellyfish motion, or if you're stiffening up and that bow is sliding around. A good kind of checking point too, when you don't have a mirror and when you've been working on this to see if you're doing this properly, is look on your instrument where the rosin dust is collecting. If you've got rosin dust that's going all the way up here, that's a huge red flag. Okay, all the rosin dust is going to be in the middle here, because that's where we're going to be playing 90% of the time. So if it's slipping a lot and you start seeing white dust collecting on the fingerboard or on the strings that goes further up the fingerboard, then you need to keep working on it still. Okay, so that's a good kind of thing to check after a rehearsal or after a practice session, is check where the rosin is, because you have to clean that off after you've played anyways. So check it and see where it is. And if it's still kind of an issue, then go back to the mirror. Okay, mirror, open strings, okay, nice and slow bows. And after you do it a few times, maybe a few days in a row, it's going to be immensely better. So don't be discouraged if it keeps slipping around. You may need a few extra days or a little bit more practice time on just open strings. That's it. But I can promise you that if you do that and you look in the mirror and you check and you make sure you got your jellyfish, your pinky set up right, your thumb is good, it's not bending backwards like this, all of your bow hold is good, your jellyfish is good, it's going to come together incredibly, incredibly fast. So keep up the good work, okay? Bowing is much more hard than pizzicato that we learned at the very beginning, but it's really rewarding when you get it down. So keep going, keep practicing. And try all these little tricks and see if they help you. They should. If you keep doing it, they should definitely help you. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions or if you need more tips and tricks.